Here's a question that comes up sometimes. How can I get my spouse to support my positive parenting ideas? I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. Positive parenting has been my specialty for my entire career. I'm going to share with you some of what I've learned during my career, and there's a surprise strategy that I'll share with you right at the end. Most parents that I've worked with really want to do a good job with their parenting. In fact, I don't think I have ever met a parent that said, "Hey, I just really want to be a bad parent." It doesn't happen. They want to do a good job for their kids. And when we have a parenting team, like two parents in a household, they're coming in with different ideas and different expectations. And they both have their own training from their own parents, which can be very different. Now notice this. The most important thing to parents is their kids. It's the most important thing on the planet. I spent 13 years of my career doing child custody evaluations for the court. These are bitter, angry, divorcing parents who can't figure out how to share their kids because they don't really want to share their kids. It's the most important thing in their whole life. And because our kids are so important to us, we really want to do the right things for them. That's why the differences in opinions between the parents can create so much conflict. I guess I wanted to share that with you just to let you know that you're not so weird. And I share this with some parents and they're just like, "Oh, okay, we're not so weird after all." Yeah, you're not. The conflict is common and usually expected, actually. We want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with our good parenting. So here's one of the most powerful tips that I can give to you right up front. Start by assuming positive intent. This will go a long way to resolving other problems too, but when it comes to parenting, think about it. Your spouse loves these kids probably as much or more than you. If that's even possible, but it's true, isn't it? Your spouse loves these kids. These kids are really important to your spouse also. And they are tapping into their best knowledge and resources and experience to try to do the right thing for your kids. When you assume positive intent, it changes you. It changes how you show up. Think about this for a minute. When you assume negative intent, "Oh, they're just trying to cause problems," then how do you show up? You get a little hostile yourself. You start to criticize. You might try to point out the things that they're doing that are wrong. And how does that work out for you? Notice that this is contrary to positive parenting. What happens when you start by assuming positive intent? Well, it changes you. If you think that they're doing the best that they know how to do with the experience that they already have, if you think that they love your children more than any other person on the planet except maybe you, then you show up differently. You're no longer trying to criticize or point out what they're doing wrong. You show up with gratitude and appreciation. Now, another of my specialty areas is positivity. And gratitude is the starting point for positive psychology. There's a lot of reasons for that I won't get into on this particular video. But just notice that this is a psychologically sound strategy for you to assume positive intent. And even if you're wrong, you're still in a better place. I believe that positive parenting is all about focusing on what's right, not who's right. And what's right comes from years of research and clinical experience that shows us a model. I've put together this model from my own clinical experience to pit control against maturity. Control meaning control over your own life, maturity meaning how grown up you are. I've prepared a PDF copy of this for you. Go to the URL that's on your screen. Right after you've finished this video, you can go pick this up. I'll put it in your inbox, drpauljenkins.com/stages. Now that word stages in the model refers to stages of development. So the quick version is that the more mature you become, the more control you get to have over your life. It's important to see where our spouse's ideas fit in relation to the stages of development. That'll make more sense if I give you a quick overview. So stage 1 is the least mature stage. It's very immature, refusing to cooperate, fighting and manipulating and yelling and screaming. Sound familiar? This is stage 1. And notice, this is not about age. Toddlers are really good at this, okay? A 2-year-old can pitch an enormous tantrum, but so can a 15-year-old. In fact, so can a 35-year-old mom or dad. And when we're yelling or screaming, guess what? We're on stage 1 too. So it's about stage, not age. Are you with me? Now, when kids are in stage 1, we have to take a certain approach to our parenting. When we go to stage 2, we stop fighting and start cooperating. That's the hallmark of stage 2. When you get the model, you're going to see I've put cooperation right on the dividing line between stage 1 and stage 2. What that means is when our kids start cooperating, we move to different strategies of parenting based on their move to stage 2. Some of the conflicts that I see between parents are because one parent is thinking about how to handle the kids if they're on stage 1, and the other parent is thinking, well, here's what we should do if they're on stage 2. And usually you're both right. So understanding where the other parent falls on this model can really go a long way to reducing the conflicts. Now, I didn't even mention stage 3 yet, because stage 3 is the most mature. This is when your kids take on full responsibility for their own stuff. This is where they have empathy and they care about service and they commit to doing the right things for the right reasons. And I can tell you already, people don't come to my office saying, "Doc, my kid is so mature. What am I going to do about it?" No, they're frustrated because their kid's on stage 1, or they're trying to figure out the right kind of discipline for stage 2. Stage 3, just sit back and smile. You're going to really enjoy that. I've got one more thought, and then I'm going to share that surprising strategy with you. Before I do that, who do you know who could really benefit from this material? You've got friends, share this video with them. Invite them to come join us here at Live on Purpose TV. Do you remember when I said that you're both right? See, it's about what's right, not who's right. And as you start to understand the model that I'm sharing with you here today, that is going to become so much more clear, and you can really focus on what's right instead of who's right. Because after all, you are both right. Okay, I promised you a surprising strategy that you can use. This gets back to communication and learning effective patterns of communication. It also ties into understanding the model that I shared with you today in this video. And here's the strategy. Postpone your need to be understood until your spouse is satisfied that you understand them. Now listen to the elements of that. Postpone your own need to be understood. And just realize and recognize that you're coming into a communication with a really strong agenda to get your point across. Just notice that. And push the pause button. Okay? Postpone your need to be understood until your spouse is convinced. Now that element is important too. Because you can think all day long in your mind, oh, I get it. I know what they're saying. And it's one of the most irritating things in the world. Think about this from your own experience. When your spouse tells you, well, you think whatever, and then they put their own spin on it, how annoying is that? And it doesn't at all match what you really think. So when you postpone your need to be understood until your spouse is convinced, they feel that you really get it, that you really understand them. Some people don't do this because they're afraid that understanding means agreeing. And it doesn't. They're different animals. Get to the understanding. We'll work on the agreement later on, because probably you're both right anyway. Once more, postpone your need to be understood until your spouse is convinced that you understand them. Give that a try. Powerful strategy. Hey, in case you missed it, the link for this model is in the description, drpauljenkins.com/stages. We're going to build on that in the next video, 5 powerful strategies for teaching children responsibility. Cue that one up next.